Hello out there in internet TV land. This is Bruno Romeo from Two Women as One Film, and I just want to go briefly over some of the preparation work that we're doing for Secret of Ancient World, a new collection of multiple series of documentaries. Secret of Ancient Asia being the number one series we will start with, possibly with the first film in Nepal, and after that we'll go all over Asia. And each series has about 10 films. Each film has about 24 episodes of an hour or 50 minutes each. That's a total per series of about 250 hours of content. So my secret is I've been collecting those beautiful magazines that are apparently very in vogue right now. The most amazing places in the world, the best destinations for you to go. And I'm just giving you a sample here. Is this one that shows 112 destinations to see in your lifetime. This one is another one that also has about 110 destinations to fall in love with. The world's most amazing places. Again, the same type of magazine. I go in the historical knowledge with Atlas of the Ancient World, and this is awesome. And it really basically has a map of event and civilization as it happened through time and through all the region, and how the knowledge was passed on from one civilization to the other. And it is something amazing. We'll use this in the preparation for each documentary about each country and to link the country with each other. Obviously, when we do the fiction comedy film, that I haven't decided the final title, but it is something like Plane, Train, Boats, and Automobiles. It'll be a fiction of a director, producer, writer, the kind of like myself, kind of a silly, goofy guy that loves traveling and has a great knowledge of history, and it takes along his girlfriend in this trip of preparation for this big collection of documentaries. And they go on this trip. It's kind of like every time what happens during every documentary. It's like a discovery journey. You know, there's plenty of documentaries that are very boring. Our documentaries will be narrated, but it'll be narrated from the point of view of somebody that has been there forever, that is kind of like, not God, but somebody related maybe to the Creator, and that can kind of guide you like a spirit. And these people come and have this incredible experience. You know, you land at the airport, you jump on a taxi, you go to your hotel, and then you start asking the question, hey, what should you go see next? And this is what happened. They meet people, they start asking questions, being that he is a researcher and knows a lot about the history of the world. He is always interested to meet, anthropologists and historians, and so he set up meeting, interview, anyway, the preparation for his big collection. But this is kind of like the prologue of the documentary series, and it kind of gives us a taste of the adventure, and he uncovers these incredible stories that are not being told yet. And if they are told, they are being ignored. So here we go into those amazing places and we discover places that exist, and we find out how they were built, when they were built, and the people that are there, where they're from, and what kind of person were they originally, and what kind of knowledge do they have. We talk to the old people. This whole series came about when I was younger in college, about a few years back. I'm not going to date myself, but I wrote a proposal called Ancient Gabonese Talk. It was about a country, Gabon, in Africa, where my dad is born, and I had the privilege to live there for many years. And my grandmother was a shaman, and she would have ceremonies around the house in the village next to the house where I was living. And I discovered an amazing, knowledge and source of information from her, as well as from my family members, my aunt, my uncles, and my cousins, the people that live around there. Went to the museums and and got passionate about understanding the ancient teaching of the pygmies. And anyway, so I did this documentary proposal on ancient Gabonese talk, and that's how this collection, Secret of Ancient World, is born. I won an award with it and allowed me to graduate from college. See, for example, here again, another magazine that is my cheat sheet, the world's most mysterious places. Here we go again. We discover places that still have mystery about them. Obviously, Stonehenge. But did you know that there is a Stonehenge in Africa? Did you know there is one in Africa? Yes, there is one. A way, way older one than the one that is in England or in Europe. Uh, it's incredible. And they have the same type of position, the same relationship with the stars, and all the knowledge that is behind it that has been hidden from us from so long. And I know there is so much to say, but as you go in each country and you are taken by the locals, you don't go to the tourist places. You go to the behind the scene places. You talk to the real people, and they talk to you about their real experience and how they deal with sickness and spirit possession and all kind of spiritual magical things that we don't think in the West, or us that are scientific oriented, we don't think it's real. Well, when you grow up in a place like that where a miracle happens every day and magical stuff happens, you discover quickly that this exists, and it is all over the world. And the funny thing is that that knowledge is spread all over the world and has very much similarities from one country to the next. And it's the interesting thing about this is that there is a uniform kind of message overall, that we all have an original creative moment in the universe. And anyway, this is kind of like the discovery of the World Collection. As we go along, we'll find out more and more stories. National parks in the U.S., for example, there is so much knowledge. There is obviously American Indian reservations. There is historical, anthropological tribe knowledge. There is things that are so ancient, way before the Egyptians, way before the people that we know as the oldest human being, and we're talking like hundred thousands of years. The mystical city of Atlantis, a mystical continent of Antarctica, and when was it green with trees and life? All of that is going to be part of our discoveries. But obviously, in the U.S., one of the greatest amazing thing are all these national parks that we have that are completely amazing, and inside them there's a trove of knowledge about not only nature, the animals, but everything behind it, the history and how people used to live and how people evolve. When we cover the Americas, it's going to be a big part of our discovery. And each region, I mean, imagine a little country like Gabon that only has 1.5 million in population, has somewhere around 250 tribes, maybe divided in about 15 major uh, tribes, but within those tribes they're divided in smaller tribes, and that's add up to 250 languages, because from one small tribe to another the language changes a little bit. I am Pongwe, and the tribe that I belong to is the Pongwe tribe that belongs to the Miene overall tribe, and we in Gabon are about half of the population, or about 40 to 50%. So imagine, in every country, in France, where I also grew up, I learned that every little area of France used to have its own language, its own history. You go to Brittany, you go to Normandy, you go in the south to Provence, you go to the Pyrenees, you go to the Alps. All these areas have their own historical knowledge. The Gauls and the central mountain of, Auvergne, where my grandfather grew up, and my ancestor sent Ramonson. I was sent a Catholic son in my family that grew up there in Auvergne, and he was a teacher. and he was teaching an orphanage for kids. Well, anyway, the whole point is, Auvergne is where the Gauls defeated or had this huge battle against the Romans. It was the only place one time where Vercingetorix was able to stand up to the Romans. And he became famous because of it. And the Gauls kept on having their independence. But getting by the name of my grandfather, Roman son of a Roman, it tells you what happened after it, right? I am a descendant of Roman because the Romans married with the local women or had babies. Anyway, look at these amazing places. And inside those places, there is a huge amount of history throughout all, the strata of the earth. We can see the history through time, not 10,000 years, but I'm talking hundreds and thousands of years. Because the creation didn't happen in just a few thousand years. I mean, if you read the text, the sacred text of every religion, the beginning is very vague. It is tohu bohu, upside down, a big mess. And that description of darkness and light coming through it, the creation of life, this whole thing could have taken hundreds of thousands of years. I mean, the writer of those books, Moses and everybody else that wrote original religious books, obviously did not want to share the original knowledge, but scientifically we've discovered obviously that life existed way before that all over the world, originally in Africa as well. So when we go in the continent of Africa, we're going to have some amazing discovery there. I research also on little things like science of the supernatural and find places that are haunted. It talks about the actual multiverse and how, does it exist, alien life, and witches, which, are mixed with shaman and all of the supernatural knowledge and teaching. And I can tell you from the preparation of the books with the document for Asia that there is a huge amount of knowledge that is withheld because that knowledge is transmitted vocally, orally. It is not written necessarily, and that's why those documentaries are going to be so important. Obviously, I dig into secret societies because they have got those knowledge from those ancient people, and they keep it to themselves to the point where certain people, through the Middle Age and through history, have killed other people to keep those secrets for themselves, so that they would not be shared to all of us. And, the same way the Bible was only printed in the late, what was that, 16th, 17th century, when, before that we had the Torah, but the New Testament was not printed, it was already transmitted, and obviously we've discovered that many texts were hidden in the Dead Sea Scroll. The Essenian library of over 100 books was discovered, and we found way more knowledge and secrets. So here we go again, ancient secret of ancient societies, the Templars and the Masons, obviously, and all of the Rosicrucians and the ancient of the United Workmen, for example. What is that? The ancient order of the foresters. What is that? And all of that is related to our history, related to our ancient past. And here we are again. Those are probably the benevolent organization, and I don't even know which one that is. I can't read without my glasses, but you get an idea. And we find today. Look at these hip hop artists that are all part of a certain ancient. There you go. Those, for example, that we know, the Illuminati. So everybody one way or another in time was introduced or integrated into secret society. Like the Jesuits were the special warriors from the Catholic Church. They were also the warriors that invaded, the New World, and they were also, the descendant of the secret knowledge of the Catholic Church that they discovered those knowledge as they invaded those New World, and it was not shared with everybody else. Not only did they steal the gold, but they stole all the knowledge about space and alien. And obviously our government has been hiding from us for over 100 years in America and all over the world the knowledge about alien in space coming to visit us and their influence on our world. But we know it. We have documented history. We have documentaries you cannot imagine. I know you are all hooked up on YouTube to all of those interesting documentary channels and channel that teaches you about the past. I also survey, obviously, space knowledge, and through the books and the documentaries, the understanding of science and how the universe was created through Einstein, relativity, understanding of science and physics, and also the understanding of the study of the stars and how the Magi were able to follow a star to the birthplace of Christ in Bethlehem. And just that alone is an incredible story, obviously, but I'm using that as an example. But I can tell you that the Magi were following way, way more than one star throughout existence, and they were able to identify movement from alien species and how they came on the earth and influenced our society. There was knowledge, obviously, that was shared at, Area 51. And so I do believe in UFO and aliens, and we do some, discussion with people about what happened. And obviously, I tell you, the pygmies tell about aliens. If you look at every African mask, a lot of the masks look like aliens. They have, eyes like the grays, and it's just the truth. So all of that will be part of our amazing discovery of secret of ancient world, and the introduction to that will be my comedy. There will be plane, boat, train, and automobile, or something like that. I switch it. It's not Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne, but it is a comedic, romantic, and a scientific kind of a Indiana Jones of modern day time that goes around the world and discovers these amazing places. And they just dig around and find out, why did people come here? How did this place came about? What happened for the earth to become this beautiful in those places? What created the earth's foundation and all. Look at this amazing landscape and those castles that were built, and so we'll find out about the time. We'll find out about history and how through time they were established. Look at this incredible Normandy style big huge cliff by the ocean. This is where the young American had to land. Some of those areas had those cliffs where they landed, but not all of them. But anyway, it's just, when I lived in France and visited those places, and so, windsurfer, just going through the water with the wind power and going through these cliffs, this hole right there, and between the cliff, well, they would fly through the air at speeds like 40 miles an hour on their windsurf. It was amazing, and they would fly and jump like 20, 30 feet up in the air. But all that magic comes from nature and the history of our Earth and our universe. I mean, look at this incredible stuff from the North Pole with the lights in the sky, and how do they happen? Why do they happen? How are they changing? How is the Earth changing? Obviously, we'll address a lot of that. Look at this beautiful medieval style. This is Old England. Well, you got the same style in France and Germany and all over Europe. You have these amazing old cities, and look at the places where they live. This is Croatia. Can you imagine this place? Look at this. It's a fortified city. And nobody knows about it. Do you? Because I don't. This is Dubrovnik in Croatia. This is how incredible the series of documentaries will be. It's not a travelogue. It's called Secret of Ancient World, and it's about the knowledge that was shared orally and not recorded necessarily in books, and not recorded and not shared necessarily. I mean, now we know there's been many, many researchers that have done the work and now published documentaries, but our experience will be more personal, one-on-one with the shaman, the teachers, and we will hear directly from them. It won't be from the scientists that, give you their perspective on the knowledge. It will be you being able to look at it yourself and understand yourself what these people are going through, their initiation, and what it means to them, and what happened during their initiation. I saw a documentary where a young man just said, after his Bwiti initiation, and Gabon again, I'm going back to my country of origin from my father's side, and yes, he tells you, oh, I had an amazing time. I saw the ancestors, I was able to see the spirit of the forest, and they told me about my life and my wedding and my children, and all of that is part of this mysterious ancient knowledge that is out there, that is part of God's creation, and it is all one. We are all together, and this is what we are going to discover as we go through, country by country, through their secret ancient knowledge. All right, well, that's it. This is my secret plan. Obviously, I have more stuff, more books, and I have more researchers helping us, and I'll be working with obviously some partners. I'm not doing it alone. This is just us creating an opportunity for other people to jump in and help. And it is a big, big work, and it is a work for humanity. So I hope you are all going to be supporting it. So looking forward to meeting you live soon. I won't be hosting the show. I am not the narrator, and I will not be doing all the documentaries. I may be doing a few, one, two, three, four, who knows. Some of the countries that are attached to me and that I like, but I am going to share it. There's so much to be done. Over 200 potential documentaries filmed alone, and then all the episodes that go along. And why is it so big? Because in one film we cover about 40 to 50 subjects, and each subject, may be a 2 to 3 minute time in a feature film, but we will, through the episode, be able to expand and have more of the teaching and the interviews and the ceremonies, and you'll be able to see it with your own eyes. We will not tell you what to think. You can decide by looking at it. So have a great day, and hopefully we'll see you out there on the TV, in the theaters, and on the internet, man, streaming soon, close to you. Secret of Ancient World. God bless. God bless. Namaste. This is Bruno Romeo signing off.